All right, good morning, cyber traders. Welcome on back here to our morning meeting this Friday, September 17th. Happy birthday to Mr. Fausto Pugliese here. Great to see all of us live inside the Cyber Group room. And if you're joining us today on social media, of course, as you know now, my name is not Fausto Pugliese. My name is Josh Levitan, covering for Fausto today. Happy 50th, of course, to the man himself, my mentor, Fausto Pugliese. But great to see all of us otherwise. Got Bonnie, Michael, Phil, Leda, Ray here today. Got Wayne, Patrick, who I think he ended up getting a nice trade off on the CRVS. Very nice. Yeah, we were watching this just in a coaching session a moment ago, myself and one of our students, Larry, and really it was more so going over the prep work that I talk about in phase two. You know, he had scheduled just an early morning session just to see me kind of like prep up a chart just like CRVS. So at the time I was going over with him the fact that we ended up seeing this stock right here, just false break over 350 a couple of separate times throughout pre-market. I was calling it out as soon as the pre-market opened up for us at 8 a.m. Eastern, but ended up beginning to pop over 350 a couple of times. But for as much buying as you look to see off the breaks, I mean, hey, not every break above a big level is going to lead to a major run. Right place, wrong time, perhaps initially, right? And that's what we ended up having here. So the more times it knocks its door head on the door of 350, you would hope to see a type of run like this. So this was a fantastic trade. Once it popped 350, that's where this thing ended up making a huge run up towards 4+. Actually, as I'm looking at my main trading platform on a separate screen here, the CRVS stock, I just finished charting this, like I'd said, with one of our students, Larry, and we ended up seeing a historical level, not only just from the daily chart, but actually the weekly chart here coming up. So I'll show this to you right now. We'll start off by putting the stock easily on the morning watch list, but the CRVS trade, we ended up seeing, what the hell was it? I'm going to draw the line here. Right around 450, maybe you could say 445, but I'm going to round up to the 50-cent level. At $4.50, we ended up seeing this hold pretty nicely across a period of time. So I'm led to believe that that could be a historical top. The more this goes up, right around 445 to 450, you could find some turbulence, some resistance there, at least at the time. So yeah, definitely the CRVS, just easily said, we'll put this stock on our watch list to begin. Really quickly, actually, so much so, I'll check the news for anyone interested into why the stock is up 77+% prior to the market even opening up. Let's just see if there's any news on this stock, what it could be. So I'll tell you what, I don't think Benzinga Pro is slacking. They're really on top of their game for the most part here. I don't have any headline on this stock, CRVS, still. I didn't have it from earlier, and I was going to assume that there was news that came out, but there really isn't. So, just goes to show that we don't need to have news out in order to have a stock run like this. This could just be a heavily shorted stock, a stock talked about on that Wall Street Bets channel, perhaps. They're talking about probably every stock under the sun anyway, 15+ million users on that channel. So, it's just to say, obviously, the stock made such a big move already. We're going to put this on our watch list easily, and really, it's going to be at the top. All right, so Deb, how about that? Nice catch. She had 2 scalps on the CRVS trade just now. She got out live inside our trading room. We got a 15-cent profit and a 21-cent profit. Beautiful. Nice start. All right, so otherwise, though, I'll tell you what, as much as it is a great day today, Fausto's birthday, I'm not expecting much out there in the market, right? We're coming off Labor Day weekend still. You got to think. I know that we're in mid-September at this point, but we're coming off of the Jewish holidays also, right? Rosh Hashanah the week before and Yom Kippur now. Sukkot coming up on Monday. How about that? For those that don't know, another holiday coming up on Monday, Sukkot on the 20th. So there might not be a whole lot of activity out there, perhaps heading into the weekend. There was actually a quick little glitch on my platform this morning, and I was lazy, did not log out, log back in. So that actually benefits us because these are my custom built scanners for the gainers and losers lists here. So really, we'll just dig from top to bottom. A lot of these stocks are going to make it on our list here coming up. So CRVS was on our list to begin, the pre-market watch list, that is. The IPHA also was on the pre-market list. I think there was news out on this stock in particular. All right, so IPHA looks like SVB Leerink maintains outperform on the company, raises their price target to 9. Along with that, looks like the company has some news out regarding some medical oncology study. So we ended up seeing a nice squeeze up after 7 a.m., really early in the morning, broke out from 680, moved up really nicely for a 2-point gain. Or near 2-point gain perhaps, but ended up beginning to pull back from 8. And yeah, right now, albeit pushing back up, this stock's going to be really, really volatile once the market opens up. It has a tight spread now, which is good, but I would definitely wait the first 3 to 5 minutes on this stock. I mean, we should anyway for any stock, but I think this is going to have some big shakes to it, especially from the wicks that you see, at least in pre-market there. Yeah, so for right now, we're going to put this on the watch list, right? Just right there with the CRVS. This GDEF stock, for as much as it popped up, unfortunately, this thing just dumped right back down after. So, perhaps can it make a $1, $2 move once the market opens up? Yeah, maybe. But it has such thin volume on the order book live right now. It's just, I'd rather follow something else. All right. ABCL. I don't know what the company is. I'm not going to check Benzinga Pro at this point, kind of just skim through here going forward. But nice little move up here so far from 2230-ish, 2250 really once it broke above that price, but moved up pretty nicely. And for right now, chopping around. Let's take a look on the tape. You could actually look pretty quickly here because this big volume spike right at 8:56 Eastern time correlates to this 43,000 share print. Was filled right under 23, exactly at 22.95. So I would use that as a complementary level alongside the whole number at 23 as a major top to work off of once the market opens up. Listen, it's pretty active so far. It has a pretty thin order book like the other one does, but this has more activity so far, at least prior to the market open. So a little interested in this. Also, it's easy to borrow. So if this does drop off, if this fails to pop any higher after the market opens up, it could be a pretty good short. All right, so we keep it going. Perhaps you could say the same on Surf. It's easy to borrow. Another oncology stock here today. Interesting. And with that said, I'm surprised CLVS, really the only other one that we know of or trade, really. I'm surprised that's not up as well. But Surf, Surface Oncology stock, a little spotty of a chart nonetheless, but up 14% so far and trading 200,000+ shares. So it falls within our price range, right? And, it's not like a great pre-market trade. It was very spotty in pre-market prior to 8 a.m., and that's the reason why I didn't put this on the main list so far. At least at this point now, I'm going to put this on the watch list going into the market open. Might not be at the top of the list like the CRVS stock, but we'll see what it could do. All right, we're going to skip one and jump right to the Smile Direct Club trade. So this is a stock that unfortunately is pulling back a bit here. It doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like it's been a great pre-market trade thus far, but it's a stock that we've been following really since its IPO, and really across the last week. I think on a day this week, it ended up making a pretty nice pop and run once the market opened up. So I don't think there's any headline on this stock aside from just the fact that it's being talked about on Wall Street Bets channel amid there's some partnership. Guess not with SDC, I believe, with another company, but nonetheless, it's being talked about on Reddit. Hey, I'll put this on the list, right? It's a stock that we're very familiar with. So, if anything, this might kind of be near the middle to the top at the end of it all. I like to categorize the list, if anything, folks, for anyone joining us new. I like to categorize the stocks with the stocks that I feel that will make the best move, upon the market opening up at the top, and then kind of, go from top to bottom from there. All right, so there's not much else I see on the gainer side that is a familiar name aside from LCID. This thing is kind of volatile so far. Moved up pretty quickly after the pre-market opened up early on from 2250 up to 23 practically, 2290 and pulled back. Listen, why not? I mean, hey, it's a stock that we've been doing pretty well on the last couple of days. And for right now, trading a whole lot of volume so far in pre-market. It is shortable. So in case if it doesn't pop back up much higher this morning and breaks below a big support level, if we happen to see a lot of selling, that is in particular, then that could lead to a good short, just like I said on that other one, the ABCL. Actually, the hell with it. We got a lot of stocks that are shortable on our watch list so far. So again, it's to say that just because good news comes out doesn't mean the stock is guaranteed to run. We like to follow the big money, folks. So for anyone joining us on YouTube today, you got Daniel, Sarah, all of us, actually a bunch of us, like 20 of us so far on YouTube. I appreciate you joining us here this morning. If you're new to our streams, new to our trading room even, it's to say that, you can't throw a dart on the wall and hope for it to land, right? You got to buy a stock directly after it breaks through a big level on the way up. I mean, easy to say, but that's exactly what happened on CRVS off that 350, right? So you have to be there at the right place at the right time. All right. So we'll keep it going otherwise, folks. I don't think I rescanned here, at least since I started the meeting. You got the ENVB stock that was up 7%, at least off a pop in pre-market. It pulled back, but still trading near 500,000 shares in pre-market. It's been a teaser of a stock, but you know what? I'll slip this on the list here so far. I don't want to pump out too big of a watch list here at the end of it all. It's a Friday, like I had said. I want to make sure that we're kind of focused just on the best, not just on a stock that seems to be active. All right, so we go over to the losers list here. I just scanned right now. Nothing really new popped up from the last time I scanned, but the PTGX is one, if anything, that does interest me from this list. So it's down 56+%. It hasn't been a great pre-market trade because the order book is just super empty. There's not much on the bid or the ask collectively here, but obviously the stock took a huge hit. So, what's the news on this trade? Looks like PTGX reported an FDA clinical hold on a development program that they had. I need new glasses. After the FDA placed a clinical hold on Rustertide development program. I don't know anything about what it is, but nonetheless, not a good reaction from the market, of course. And, this stock, at least for right now on TradeStation, is hard to borrow, but hey, perhaps if it's easy to borrow on your end, that could be a great opportunity if we continue to see selling. Otherwise, it's down enough to where you could anticipate a potential dead cat bounce. All right, so for the meantime, yeah, I'll slip the PTGX on there. All right, so really quick, I think that's pretty much all I see on the loser side of things here. If anything, maybe the OPED I could slip on the back end of the watch list because of how well we did on it as a team yesterday. It's starting to squeeze up a small bit off that 1650 halt print that Patrick and I were talking about yesterday. All right, why not? I don't want to put out too big a list, but let's see, we're at 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Not too bad. All right, so folks, let me know if there's anything else that you would want me to look at here. Up, down, left, right, 5%. I want to make sure that we have enough time here to at least prep our charts, just get ready collectively before the market opens. And in the meantime, let me jump to YouTube first. Got a couple of chats here. So from Daniel C. Saying, hey, how do you do it? I lost all my money on Bitcoin. All right, so we'll talk Bitcoin in the afternoon meeting in particular. I say that to Daniel just because Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I host the afternoon meeting here every weekday, but Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I always talk about Bitcoin. Today being Friday, I'm going to pull up some graphs, talk about it coming up, but briefly, number one, and I don't know if people do this here, this is something I would not suggest. Don't go on leverage. That is how you lose all your money extremely fast. So that's first and foremost. But then otherwise, it's a matter of just experience. I got my butt kicked in 2017, 2018. 90% of people did because, once Bitcoin became mainstream, back then, it was practically at the end of the cycle. It was after the peak. So when everyone began to jump in, that's when it was beginning to fall. So, 90% of people got their butt handed to them back in 2018. So it comes from experience. Being there at the right time also. I personally started following Bitcoin this cycle back in April of 2020. Late April, not early April. That makes a big difference, unfortunately. That I could have had Bitcoin at like 4,000 at that point. But I did not. My first entries on it were right around 8,700 or 9,000, right around there. And the more that I saw it begin to squeeze up in the studies I was reading, then I started to add more. But the more it went up, I'm not going to add more and more because it's going to begin to fall. So it comes from experience. I don't want to talk too much about Bitcoin right now. We'll talk about it perhaps coming up in the afternoon meeting. Actually, we'll definitely talk about it coming up in the afternoon meeting. All right, from Sarah joining us today on YouTube. Are you also watching the FCUV stock? Let's take a look at that. It's not really trading a lot of volume, Sarah, in pre-market this morning, but ended up making a bit of a push-up yesterday, seems like, right? Let me jump to the daily chart for right now. I'm still on my weekly. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this. This ended up making some crazy pop-up back last week it was, or the week before, even on Friday, perhaps before Labor Day weekend, but ended up beginning to, dump back down. And it's just to say, look at the volume bars. After those 2 days, that pop and then the ensuing drop after, it's traded very little volume since. So unfortunately, this is where I say if you're in this as a swing trade, holding on to a bag, I hope not. But if you are, I can't give you any sort of analysis on where this stock will go across a period of time. As a day trade today, at least, not fully sold on it just yet. I would need to see a lot more volume traded on this stock for me to be led to believe it will have a lot of volatility to it. All right. From Chuck inside the live trading room, Josh BLI as a loser wasn't at all-time lows the other day. Let's see. Yeah, but it had a really thin order book, if I'm not mistaken, too. So that was the one thing. It did trade 15 plus, yesterday, 15 plus million. Could be a sideless stock. It's trading 186,000 shares so far in pre-market, which I like. A bit of a spotty chart. So if you did well on it yesterday, then perhaps you're more keen to follow it this morning. Deb saying BBIG going back up, which is a stock that, we collectively as a trading room should be a fan of hearing. And personally, I love hearing that. So, I would be more keen to watch this, if anything, but still, it's only up 1.8%. It's more of a sideless stock for right now than anything. And I would say the same with so many others, like the ATER stock, the ANY stock, the Bingo stock, which had a little volume to it so far in pre-market. It's up 3+%, actually. This could be a nice trade. HLBZ is flying up, says Matthias. It is. And actually, this has a lot of activity so far, up 58+% so far. So definitely going to put this on the list. But just like Bonnie followed up after, it has a very thin order book and a very wide spread for that matter. So this is where I'm going to say, and I'm not going to direct this to specifically one person, but if you're joining us live inside our trading room today, if you are a trial member joining us in our live trading room today, if you are an inexperienced day trader, someone who has yet to really find their stride with consistently making the $500 a day, the day's pay perhaps at least, or more, you got to look yourself in the mirror. I say that all the time now. It's a little blunt to say, but again, if you're going to, lie to us, you're lying to yourself. For all the money that you have in your account, the hours that you work to retain that money that you're trading, if you're uncomfortable following a stock like this, if you don't know how to follow the order book for a stock like this, folks, there's plenty of other fish out there in the sea to catch. I mean, the CRVS was such a nice trade, and albeit that made a fast pop, that had a very tight spread. This had a very liquid order book. Hell, this could have been a great trade for anyone in pre-market, perhaps. So listen, I'm going to put the HLBZ on the list, of course, given its opportunity. If the stars align, that could be the next OPAD. That could be the next INDP from this week. But again, though, if you are someone who makes, consistent money each and every day in the trading room, you know who you are already. So, I'm not directing that to you. I'm directing that to the trial members, or more so inexperienced traders that I don't want to see get their butts handed to them on a stock like HLBZ, right? All right, folks, we're going to call it a meeting right now. We'll talk about Bitcoin. There's still some chat on YouTube right now, the stream at least in relation to Bitcoin. So we'll talk about crypto in total heading into 2:30 Eastern time today. How about this? Look at the ticker on the banner below there at least. And I made mention of this yesterday afternoon, but coming up live this upcoming Tuesday, September 21st, we like to do this maybe 2 or 3 times across the whole calendar year. So a real treat for all of us on social media at least. But we're going to conduct our Traders Talk workshop, a simulcast, as we do it live inside our trading room. We'll host it at the same time on our YouTube channel. So that being youtube.com/cybertradingu. So for all of our members there right now, like RJF or Sarah or Daniel, any one of us live still sticking with me here. If you would like to join us, all you got to do is just be here live at 11 a.m. Eastern time on Tuesday, September 21st. But furthermore, if you'd like to ask a question for me to answer or go over live, feel more than free to do so. My email I posted inside that ticker, that banner below, but I'll post it right here as well. My name is Josh Levitan, Senior Instructor here at Cyber Trading University. My email address just posted right there, josh@ctutrading.com. Again, if you're joining us live upcoming on Tuesday the 21st, send over a question, a trade coming up that you would like for us to review, go over collectively as a team, and we'll be able to do so at least on Tuesday. All right, so for right now, folks, we are pretty much good to go. I want to make sure, like I had said before, we have enough time to prep, chart, or line up our charts heading into the market open, and we'll see what we can get here. All right, so for all of us on Facebook Live, YouTube right now, I'll be joining you folks back at 2:30 in the afternoon once more just to rescan the market heading into the market close. I'll talk to you all of us live inside the trading room coming up pretty shortly. Take care.